The Democrats are already discussing who could run for president in 2028, and AOC was one of the names put forward according to The Hill. They report that one Democratic strategist said she has an ability to cut through the BS and doesn't talk like Washington. They also said that the 35-year-old would be a magnet for young voters and would have little trouble using social media, podcasts, and other online tools to help her win the election. So the question is, do you think that AOC would make a good president or not?
The University of New Hampshire poll right now says that AOC is leading the pack with 22% support. Do you agree with the University of New Hampshire? Is AOC the leading Democrat in 2028?
Oh, of course she is. She's the one who is driving the Democrat messaging narrative. She's the one who is driving Democrat Party's ideological shift to the left. Remember, I mean, it wasn't that long ago whenever AOC first came onto the political scene. I think she was elected in 2018, if I can remember right. She was the face of the radical left at the time. The institutional Democrats were trying to keep her out as much as possible because she was, whether she said it or not or admitted it or not, she was the socialist leader in the party. And now you can see that her views are pretty mainstream amongst elected Democrats.
All right. AOC is topping 2028 election primary polls as I'm speaking right now. She tops, or she comes as the first among the other contenders that are together. And she's hoped to run for presidential election in 2028 if, of course, nothing changed. So I pulled out different clips of people reacting to this, and I'm going to give my thoughts as the video is going by. As I want yours in the comment section, and please, if you have not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, remember to do so. But the question is, do you think AOC is going to be able to run for presidential election in 2028? Let's see the whole video, and I'm going to be right back after with my final remarks and conclusion.
There are a lot of people who would like you to run for president in 2028. There are others who would like you to run for the United States Senate. What say you about all of this?
You know, it's funny because in this op-ed that Jeff Bezos paid for in the Washington Post, there was this line that you had mentioned earlier about, well, as a potential 2028 contender, XYZ. And in the context of that, it was very clear this was a veiled threat, right? So it was the elite saying, if you want this job, you just stepped out of line. And we want you to know where the real power is. And it's in the modern day barons who own the Post and own the algorithms, and we'll make an example out of you. And what's funny about that is that they assume that my ambition is positional. They assume that my ambition is a title or a seat. And my ambition is way bigger than that. My ambition is to change this country. And presidents come and go, Senate, House seats, elected officials come and go, but single-payer healthcare is forever. A living wage is forever. Workers' rights are forever, women's rights, all of that. And so anyways, a finer point to your question is that when you aren't attached, right? When you haven't been like fantasizing about being this or that since the time you were 7 years old, it is tremendously liberating. Because I get to wake up every day and say, how am I going to meet the moment? And conditions change radically all the time. So I make my response less to an attachment to some positional, title or position and working backwards from there. But I make decisions by waking up in the morning, looking out the window and observing the conditions of this country. And saying, what move or what decision can I make today that is going to get us closer to that future, stronger, faster, better than yesterday?
The last time Democrats won in the House won our largest majority since Watergate in 2018. 185 Democratic candidates of all backgrounds, rural and urban, progressive and moderate, ran by not taking a dime in corporate money. It's not naive. It's how we win, Detroit. And it's not just how you win a primary. It's how you win a general election. We can't be in cahoots with the same money that is oppressing us. It's not naive, Detroit. It's what we need. And it, most importantly, is what you deserve. You deserve a government that answers to you. And yes, compared to how things work today, admittedly, a government that listens to you more than it listens to big money is revolutionary. To take on big companies, to take on the big companies scamming you, lowering your bills, and putting more money in your pocket is revolutionary. To fight corporate greed everywhere we find it. To make healthcare a guaranteed right in the richest nation on earth. You deserve a politics that treats the disease and not just the symptoms of what brought us Donald Trump.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez could be president in 2028, and here are 3 reasons why. I'm Danielle Lemon. I have a PhD in climate science, and I talk about climate, comedy, and politics. I've been quoted in the New York Times, the Washington Post, Politico, and The Hill. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is in the exact right position at the exact right moment to be the youngest and first female president ever. The 3 reasons are: 1, she's one of the most popular candidates of all time and has the name recognition to win. One of the biggest challenges new candidates fight for is to be recognized on the national stage for their platform of ideas. She already has that. 2, she is good at picking advisors. She takes nuanced, informed stances because she knows who to go to get credible, evidence-based positions. But lastly, the most important reason I think she could win is 3. If the last election taught us anything, it's that Americans are no longer only considering candidates' positions, they are also considering their potential for change. AOC's platform is radically focused on the working class people of America, and she is truly Bernie Sanders' protege. Everyone talking about how women can't win and how she's taking resources from someone who could, y'all need to.
I'm going to be honest. Republicans should be scared of AOC. She has officially grown to the top Democratic nominee for the 2028 primary, and her debate skills are insane.
You know, I think that this is such a, I think that this is this is, of course, a very longstanding policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point.
You know, you feel for somebody when they're not ready for a moment.
I mean, just imagine for a second, AOC against Marco Rubio or JD Vance. All I can say is it's going to be a fun debate. But goes to show why if you're an independent or Republican, you should be voting in midterms this year. We cannot give the Democrats the House. They're quite literally trying to replace Supreme Court justices with their own rules and regulation, which is authoritarian as hell, so they can push someone like AOC into power. Do not let off the brakes. Vote in midterms this year.
Has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. There is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body. I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks.
So now let's zoom out for a second to talk about who is actually in this conversation, starting with AOC herself. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has represented in New York's 14th district, the Roanoke and Queens since 2010. 2019. When she beat a 10-term incumbent in one of the biggest upset primaries in recent memory, she built her national profile as the face of the party's progressive wing, championing things like Green New Deal, Medicare for all, and taking on corporate money in politics. Since then, she toured the country with Bernie Sanders on their Fighting Oligarchy events. And by the most accounts, that tour is the big reason she's putting where she is right now. She keeps saying publicly that she's focused on the midterms and hasn't made the decision. Now she's not the only name being floated. Pete Buttigieg, the former transportation secretary and 2020 presidential candidate, has actually led AOC in some recent New Hampshire polling. She's known as a sharp, calm communicator, someone who will go on Fox News and hold his own, but he's still working to build support with Black and working class voters, which was the weak spot in his last run. Gavin Newsom, California's governor, is also right up there near the top of most 2028 polls. He's built his name by going after Trump directly and aggressively, and some polls have actually shown him pulling ahead of the pack. Then you've got Kamala Harris, the 2024 nominee, still showing up near the top of these polls just by the name recognition alone, though it's unclear if she lands again. Mark Curry, the Arizona senator and former astronaut, keeps coming up as more moderate swing state option. And there is longer list behind them: G.B. Britiska, Josh Shapiro, Andy Bashir, Cory Booker. Governors and senators are testing the waters in their own ways, in the way that mirrors what we've seen work locally with people like Zoran Mamdani. Buttigieg and Newsom are chasing a broader, more centrist to mainstream coalition. So this isn't just popularity contest. It's really fight over with the direction of the Democratic Party goes after this era of Trump. And honestly, we won't know anything for real until the after midterms this fall. AOC herself has said she's not seriously thinking past that. But if that poll lead holds and if she keeps doing tours and events like the ones we just watched, this speculation isn't going away anytime soon. That's my own breakdown, and please let me know in the comment section who do you think deserves to run for presidential election in 2028 regarding Democrats Party. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please remember to do so, and let's meet in the next video, which is coming very soon.